Hello friends, we welcome all of you. Today we will discuss about 4G operations. Okay, on the screen that there are eight processes or operations, but today in part 1, this is part 1, we will discuss only about point 1 to point 4, that is random access, RRC connection establishment, RRC connection reconfiguration, and fourth one is attached. Okay, and in second part we will discuss from point 5 to point 8. Before starting this topic, if you are new on my channel, please subscribe this channel and don't forget to press bell icon for more related videos notification. Okay, now let's start. Here our first process is random access. Okay, what is the full form of random access channel? Is RACH, means stand for random access channel. This is the first message from UE to eNode B. When your mobile phone UE power it on. Okay, even though they use a little bit different name in all cellular technologies like CDMA, GSM, WCDMA and LTE, there is a specific signal that perform the same functions. In WCDMA they call it access probe, as far as I know. In GSM they call it channel request, and in WCDMA or LTE they call it RAC, means random access channel. The random access process is initiated when the UE needs to establish uplink time synchronization with the eNode B. Okay, in practice the process is initiated in 5 different events. There are 5 different events. First one is radio resource control connection establishment. Second one is RRC connection re-establishment after a radio link failure. Okay, third one is handover process. Fourth one is downlink data transmission with an asynchronized UE. Next one is uplink data transmission with an asynchronized UE. We know that random access procedure is contention based and contention free. What is contention based? Occur in idle mode. Okay, contention based occur in idle mode when UE doesn't have uplink resource. Okay, initial access. Contention free occurs in connected mode as a handover process and radio link failure. Now we see there are 2 different random access process types in LTE, as we discussed in last page. The first process type, contention based random access process, that is shown in figure here. Contention based random access process can be used in all 5 events types. Okay, here is UE and is eNode B. In LTE, first message is sent by the UE to the eNode B, that is random access preamble, and in reply eNode B gives random access response message. Okay, here you can see when UE sends message to the eNode B, yani RAC preambles, that is having RARNTI indication for layer 2 or layer 3 message sizes. Second message is sent by the eNode B to the UE random access response. Okay, in random access response there is many things like timing advance, T, CRNTI, uplink grant for L2 and L3 messages. Now UE sends message scheduling transmission to the UE. Here L2, L3 message you can see, and again in response eNode B gives a response like contention resolution, that is fourth one, message for early contention resolution. Okay, this is the figure of contention based random access process. Now we will see what is the process of random access. The UE send a randomly selected random access preambles toward the eNode B. Okay, via the random access channel. The preambles power is based on an estimation of downlink path loss. It should be noted that the downlink and uplink path losses do not necessarily correlate, and therefore the uplink path loss estimate can be rather inaccurate. Second point is the inode B acknowledges the preambles with a random access response message, which includes at least timing alignment data, information about the observed preambles, and a cell radio network temporary identifier. Okay, multiple preambles receptions from multiple different UEs can be acknowledged with one random access response message. Third point, the UE transmit a scheduled transmission using the uplink shared channel. The identity of the UE is included in the message. The inode B acknowledges the message and confirm that it has received identity of the UE. And if the UE does not receive an acknowledged for its preamble or for its identity, another preamble is transmitted with an increased transmit power. The random access process continues until it is successful or declared as failed. In case of uplink or downlink data transmission with an asynchronized UE, the process is declared as failed if the maximum number of preambles is reached. And in case of RRC connection establishment, RRC connection re-establishment and handover process, the RRC timer expiry declares the random access process failure. Okay, and the second random access process type is non-contention based random access process, can be utilized only in handover process and for synchronizing UE to initiate downlink data transfer. And the process is very similar to the contention based random access process. As a difference, instead of randomly selected preambles, inode B assign a dedicated preambles to the UE. Since the identity of the UE is known to the inode B, message 3 and message 4 of the contention based process are not needed. Now we go for second process, that is RRC connection establishment. In RRC connection establishment in LTE, and UE can reside in two different activity states, that is RRC idle state or RRC connected state. In RRC idle state, there is no RRC connection between the UE and the EUTRAN inode B. The UE monitors the paging channel for incoming calls, measures the neighboring cells, performs cell reselection, and acquires system information. And in connected state, in addition to the idle state operations, the UE monitors shared control channels, transmits channels quality information, performs measurement reporting, and possibly sends application level data towards the inode B. And the process of establishing a RRC connection, which you will see in figure 2, and a rejection of connection establishment is you will see in figure 3. Here is figure 2 and figure 3. Here you can see there is UE and here is inode B. In idle state, UE sends a message RRC connection request, and in response inode B sends a message RRC connection setup, and then RRC connection setup complete message sent by the UE to the inode B, and then mobile connected to the network. This is the RRC connection establishment process, and here you can see this is UE and this is inode B. When inode UE send a message RRC connection request, against it UE send a message RRC connection reject. Okay, still our mobile or UE is in idle mode, that is rejected RRC connection establishment process. Now the UE perform a random access process with the inode B, starts timer T300 and transmits a RRC connection request message towards the UE. Okay, first timer starts and it sends a message to the inode B, that is RRC connection request. If the inode B accept the RRC connection establishment request, okay, it answers with the RRC connection setup message. If timer T300 expires before the UE receive the RRC connection setup message, the process is declared as failed. Okay, the UE acknowledges the establishment of the connection with the RRC connection setup complete message. The UE performs a random access process with the inode B, starts timer T300 and transmits a RRC connection request message towards the inode B. The inode B rejects. In second figure you see the inode B rejects the connection request and sends a RRC connection reject message to the UE. And the UE starts timer T302 remains in the idle state and is not allowed to send another RRC connection request until timer T302 expire. Next point is RRC connection reconfiguration. This is the third process of LTE. The RRC connection reconfiguration process is used to establish, modify, release radio bearer, perform handovers and set up, modify, release UE measurement. And the process is initiated by the inode B, which send a RRC connection reconfiguration message towards the UE. And if the UE can comply with the configuration changes, it responds with a RRC connection reconfiguration complete message. On the other hand, if UE cannot comply even with a part of the configuration changes, the UE initiates a RRC connection reestablishment process. Okay, no information about the failure cause is sent to the inode B. And here you can see successful RRC connection reconfiguration process, and here is the failure RRC connection reconfiguration message. Successful and failed RRC connection reconfiguration process are illustrated in figure 4, and here is figure 5. In successful RRC reconfiguration process, UE receive a message from the inode B, that is RRC connection reconfiguration, and UE gives response to the inode B RRC connection reconfiguration complete. Against it, in failure mode, UE receives a message to the inode B, that is RRC connection reconfigurations, and in failure both UE and inode B RRC connection reestablishment failed. Okay, next process is attach. Okay, now we start in attach process. The UE register itself to the MME in order to receive the network services, and during the attach process a default EPS bearer is established, enabling the always on IP connectivity of LTE, which we will know in next video. The default bearer is maintained as long as the terminals is registered to the network. Okay, and the UE context is created to the MME, and an IP address may be allocated to the UE during the attach process or with dynamic host configuration protocol DHCP after the default EPS bearer has been established. In addition, dedicated EPS bearer establishments may be triggered, and a successful attach process you will see in figure 4, and rejected attach process you will see in figure 7. Here is figure 6 and figure 7. The UE performs a RRC connection establishment process. Here UE and MME, here UE performs a RRC connection establishment process towards the serving inode B and send a attach request. It send a attach request message to the MME initiating the attach process. Okay, UE send attach request message to the MME. The attach message includes a PDN connectivity request, okay, which indicates the willingness to establish a default EPS bearer. Timer T3410 is started. Okay, and second identification, third is authentication, and fourth is security process may be initiated that time. And the MME respond to the attach request. MME respond to the attach request in fifth process with an attach request message. Timer 3410 is stopped. Here timer 3410 is stopped. Here timer 3410 is started, and here stopped. The attach process is completed as the UE send a attach complete message to the MME. Okay, here attach process is completed. MME can reject the attach request by sending an attach reject message to the UE. Here you can see rejection of attach. A random code indicating the reason for the rejection is included in the message. Here timer T3410 is stopped. Okay, that's all. Thank you.